If you're wondering how to sell a house after a loved one passes away in Sherman Oaks, Studio City, Encino, or anywhere in the San Fernando Valley of Los Angeles, you may be looking for guidance on selling a home in a trust. You know, many trustees and heirs have questions about trust administration, real estate, and want to know how to sell inherited homes step by step. You might also be asking yourself, do I need probate to sell a house? Or how selling a house after a death in California works. I'm Alan Taylor with Compass in Sherman Oaks, California, and I work closely with estate planning attorneys all over Los Angeles who refer clients who are navigating this process. And in this video, I'm gonna walk you through selling the family home step by step so that you can handle it efficiently, stay legally protected, and achieve the best outcome for the estate and its beneficiaries. Now, before we get started, if you like this video, please give it a like. Be sure to subscribe to our channel, and if you don't mind, I'd love a comment below. And also, my free guides are linked below to help you navigate the process. And if you're a trustee or an executor managing a trust administration real estate sale, reach out. We're here to help. Let's get started. So what is a trust sale? So for all intents and purposes in this video, a trust sale is when a property is being sold by a successor trustee on behalf of somebody who has passed away. And in most cases, a successor trustee is a child, a relative, or an appointed individual with legal authority under a living trust to sell the property and distribute the sale proceeds to the beneficiaries named in the trust. Now, the key difference between a trust sale and a traditional sale usually comes down to disclosure requirements and the legal responsibilities of the seller. For example, in a trust sale, if the trustee hasn't lived in the home or owned it within the past year, they are generally exempt from completing the transfer disclosure statement and the seller property questionnaire. And those two forms, for all intents and purposes, puts the seller on the stand and asks them many questions about the condition of the property. Arguably questions that a successor trustee may not be able to answer or may have no knowledge of. So the idea here is that the exemption exists to eliminate the trustee from having to complete all the forms, putting the buyer on notice of that. And generally, this simplifies the process, reduces potential liability. However, and it's important to note that if a trustee cannot fail to disclose something material that they know, even though they're exempt. And when the trustee uses the trust advisory and the CAR form ESD, the exempt seller disclosure, they can still write at the bottom or attach an addendum disclosing anything that they feel the buyer should be aware of. And it's important to remember that a trust sale is more than a standard real estate transaction. Trustees are handling an estate, which means their decisions impact both the legal and financial outcome for members of the family and can have a negative effect on family relationships if things are done incorrectly. You know, clear planning, transparency, and careful documentation are critical to avoid conflicts and delays. And simply put, because it's a trust sale, is inherently sensitive, you know, combining emotions, family expectations, the deceased wishes, it's essential to understand the legal framework before taking action. And by fully grasping how to sell a house after a parent dies, trustees can manage the process with confidence, minimize liability, and ensure that the property is sold in a way that honors both the estate and its beneficiaries, with everybody being happy. So what are the first steps in selling mom or dad's house? The very first step is to obtain a copy of the trust and set up a consultation with an estate planning attorney, and ideally the one that drafted the trust, right? They can guide you through the trust administration process, answer questions about your responsibilities, help you understand what the instructions are, and to ensure every step you take is compliant with the law. Early legal guidance helps prevent costly mistakes and misunderstanding, and a good attorney will also provide you with information on how to be the best trustee possible. So next, under the probate code, the successor trustee is required to provide all beneficiaries with a copy of the trust agreement and to explain clearly what plans are in store for the property, and then wait 120 days. And this time period allows the beneficiaries the time they need to contest the trust validity and paves the way for the trustee to facilitate the sale with reduced liability. liability. And if all beneficiaries are on board, I think they can mutually sign a waiver and the trustee may be able to sell and distribute the proceeds prior to the 120-day waiting period. Check with your attorney. And while all this goes along, the home should be secured, locks changed if necessary, give the property a visual inspection, maintain the insurance against hazards like fire and liability, pay expenses, including utilities and mortgage payments, and last, make sure that the property is maintained, thus preserving its value. Document everything: calls, emails, decisions, expenses. Good record keeping protects you as trustee and ensures transparency. And these first steps lay the foundation for a smooth, legally compliant, and efficient selling inherited home step-by-step process. All right, should you hire a realtor with experience in trust sales? So hiring any realtor for a trust sale in Sherman Oaks or anywhere in Los Angeles is perfectly okay, but it's essential to choose a realtor who either specializes in or understands how trust sales in Los Angeles work. And one not only who understands the local real estate market, but the legal obligations and disclosure requirements of the seller and how to best position, the property to attract serious buyers quickly. Even if you already have a realtor, they may not fully understand the nuances of a Los Angeles trust sale or have the resources and the referrals needed to manage the entire process, guidance for managing multiple beneficiaries, coordinating the required reports, home preparation, or more. And using a real estate agent with trust sale experience in Sherman Oaks, or Los Angeles reduces the mistakes that could delay the sale or expose you to legal challenges. And finally, having a knowledgeable realtor provides legal and practical protection for you as trustee. They guide you through the paperwork, the contracts, the negotiations, keeping the process compliant with the trust sale requirements in Los Angeles while minimizing stress for both you and the beneficiaries. Choosing the right realtor isn't just, a convenience, it's critical for a successful, smooth, and legally protected trust sale in Los Angeles. Sell as is or make improvements in a trust sale. And one of the most important decisions in a trust sale in Sherman Oaks or anywhere in Los Angeles is whether to sell the property as is or make improvements before listing and selling the home, right? Each option has its financial, logistical, and legal considerations that trustees need to carefully evaluate before moving forward. In my humble opinion, a trustee's job is to maximize the value of the estate. So if the home is generally in good condition and well cared for, and there's only one or two beneficiaries, it may be financially prudent to take down the wallpaper, paint the walls white, update the lighting, and do a little landscaping, as these, simple and effective improvements can massively enhance the value of the home and the sale proceeds to the beneficiaries. On the other hand, selling as is has its benefits, including reducing upfront costs, speeding up the sale, and minimizes, ongoing maintenance, responsibilities, the time of ownership, and it may be simpler for multiple beneficiaries because it avoids disagreements over which improvements should be made or how much to spend. It's important to note that trustee sales in Los Angeles can attract fewer buyers and lower offers, so pricing and marketing must reflect the condition of the property accurately. And factors to consider are ongoing property expenses while waiting for improvements to be completed, or the home to sell, such as mortgage payments, property taxes, insurance, utilities, maintenance costs, which continue to accrue, which can ultimately reduce the net proceeds for the trust sale if the restoration process takes too long. So as trustee, it's critical to involve all the beneficiaries in this decision and be aligned on whether to sell as is or to make home improvements. And that's going to prevent disputes, ensure transparency, and keep the process moving efficiently. Clear communication and documentation of the chosen strategy protects the trustee legally and financially. And finally, whether you choose as is or improvements, document all the decisions, cost, and approval from the beneficiary. This ensures accountability, protects you from liability, and keeps your trust sale in Sherman Oaks or anywhere in Los Angeles on track from listing to closing. Once the decision is made regarding the improvements, the next step in a trust sale in Sherman Oaks or anywhere in Los Angeles is preparing to list the property on the open market. Proper preparation, including obtaining all the statutory reports such as the Natural Hazard Zone Disclosure Report, Preliminary Title Report, City 9A, and Seller's Disclosure Package, are essential to prevent delays during escrow and to minimize buyer contingency periods. Next, pricing the property strategically is crucial in Sherman Oaks trust sales or anywhere in Los Angeles, right? Setting a competitive list price typically attracts buyers quickly, generates multiple offers, and often can result in a higher final sales price as opposed to overpricing strategy where one waits and subsequently lowers the price until the property finally sells. And your realtor can provide a Sherman Oaks market analysis to determine the most effective pricing strategy, and a good realtor who has experience in these sales can make a huge impact. Marketing the property professionally is also vital. High quality photography, property walkthrough videos, clear descriptions highlighting the home's unique features all ensures that the property stands out, and even listing property as a trust sale can attract buyers who are looking for deals. So buyers expect transparency, and presenting the property accurately builds trust and reduces the likelihood of negotiation delays. Now here's the secret sauce. With an ideal price and strong buyer demand, this recipe generates multiple buyers and bids on the property and helps the trustee control the terms of the sale, reduces contingencies and deadlines for a smoother transaction. So make sure to allow for inspections, disclose all known material issues, use the right CAR forms and liability releases to protect yourself, the trustee, while keeping the transaction transparent and professional. And finally, as we've said before, maintain detailed records of all offers, counteroffers, repairs, communications, and expenses. Proper documentation ensures accountability, and it protects you as a trustee, and it keeps beneficiaries informed throughout the trust sale in Sherman Oaks process. And taking these steps ensures the home sells efficiently, it complies with legal requirements, and maximizes value for the estate and its beneficiaries. All right, so thanks for watching, guys. Selling a property as a trustee in Sherman Oaks, Studio City, Encino, or anywhere in the San Fernando Valley of Los Angeles can be complex, but following a clear process makes it manageable. By understanding the trust, consulting an estate planning attorney, and communicating clearly with the beneficiaries, you can avoid mistakes that delay the sale or create disputes, right? Every decision, from repairs and improvements to marketing, pricing, and disclosures, should follow the rules of the trust administration when it comes to selling. And proper execution protects you legally and financially while honoring the wishes of the deceased. Pricing strategically, presenting the home professionally, and maintaining thorough documentation are critical for a successful sale. And last but not least, handling offers carefully and managing the disclosures ensures a smooth process while minimizing liability. And last, using a realtor experienced in selling inherited homes, step by step is essential. They provide guidance, local market knowledge, and the right kind of support needed in navigating complex trust sales to ensure that the process is efficient and legally compliant. Selling a house after a parent dies or managing the sale of a home after a death can be tricky, but it's also an opportunity to maximize the estate's value while minimizing stress for the beneficiaries. And by following these steps, trustees can handle that process confidently and successfully and do a great thing for their family. Thank you so much for watching. Comment below with questions. Reach out if you're managing a trust administration real estate sale. I look forward to helping you navigate it efficiently and securely. Take care. Thank you so much for watching.